Hello, my name is Reeve. I am a cider consultant out in Tokyo, Japan. I run a company called Cider Japan, and I'm a licensed educator for the American Cider Association, which is why I'm here today to walk you through a structured sensory analysis. I will be evaluating this, which is not a cider. This is a sparkling perry from Small Acres Cider out in New South Wales, Australia. Ciders made from apples, perries made from pears. The drinks are different, but the process is the same, so no worries there. Alright, we're going to need a few things to get us through this structured sensory analysis. A pencil or a pen or both. I prefer pencil, so I'm going to stick with that. Also a glass. Now you're going to want to stay away from like beer pint glasses if possible. If possible, you want something like this, something with a base, a stem, big rounded bottom that tapers at the top. If you can get something close to this, perfect. Also, two worksheets, the structured sensory analysis worksheet, which looks like this, and then the possible aroma and or flavours worksheet, which looks like that. Both are downloadable from the American Cider Association's website, so go do that if you haven't already. And finally, something to discharge the lovely liquids, a spittoon, because you really don't want to be drinking all of that alcohol, whether you're practicing for the exam or actually taking the exam, so make sure you've got one of those. Alright, without any further ado, let's get started. The structured sensory analysis worksheet is divided into 4 parts: the appearance, aroma, palate, and final assessment. And what that means is we'll be evaluating with our eyes, our nose, our mouth, and then summarising at the end. Now each section is also subdivided, so what I do is I just start from the top and work my way to the bottom. So, appearance, or how our cider, or in my case perry, looks like, is divided into another 4 parts: clarity, intensity, colour, and carbonation. So, starting with clarity, or how clear our cider is, there are 3 options here: clear, cloudy, and opaque. Now there are 2 great techniques to help us decide which is the correct answer. One involves our finger, one involves a piece of paper with a bit of writing on it. We have both. So, starting with the finger, what we do is you pick up your glass, you're going to put your finger behind the liquid, and then see how well you can see your finger. Now, if you can't see it at all, that would be opaque. If you can see your finger, but none of the definition, the prints or any of the lines, that would be cloudy. And if you can see everything, which I pretty much can here, so I can see my finger, the outline, the indents, the whorls on my fingerprint, that would make it clear. Okay? The other way we can do this is by taking a piece of paper like your worksheet, putting it again behind the liquid, and then the goal here now is to see how well you can read the words. Now, if you cannot see anything, opaque. If you can see words but you can't make them out, that would be cloudy. And in my case, I can read every word perfectly clear, so clear cider. Now I'm going to mark clear and then move on. The next is intensity. Now this is the depth of colour of your drink. There's also a technique to decide this, and it involves taking your glass, tilting it at about 45 degrees, and you're going to look into the centre of the drink. Okay? Now think of a radial gradient. So you're looking for a centre of colour, and I see right in the middle here there's a sort of patch of gold. Now the question is how far does that centre, that depth of colour, go from the centre of the glass to the edge of the glass and the liquid. Now, if it goes from the center all the way to the very end, you have what's called deep. And apologies, I should have said the intensity has 3 options as well: pale, medium, deep. Again, you're going to tilt your glass forward about 45 degrees, look for the center of color, and then how far from the center to the edge does that center color go. If it goes from the center all the way to the edge, then your answer is deep. If it goes from the center to maybe halfway or a few millimeters off, then you've got medium. Now in my case, I've got this really pretty deep yellow, but it doesn't go very far out. It starts to fade and sort of watery in appearance at the very edge. So in my case, this is a pale intensity. All right? So I will mark pale. Now, next is color. Now here we've got a range of answers. We've got straw, yellow, gold, amber, copper, pink, ruby, purple, and garnet. Now that range is really talking about the undertones and hues of the drink. This, let's see again if you can see that. This is really clear. This is a very, very straw, light straw, some green in there, but this is a straw colored perry. Now if it were deeper yellow, I'd call that yellow. If it were even deeper still with maybe a hint of orange, that would go into the gold territory. More oranges bring it into the amber. Oranges and brown would bring it into the copper area, and then browns and reds would pull it even deeper into the pink, ruby, in purple and garnets. But here, clearly that's straw. All right, so I'm going to mark straw as my answer here and move on to carbonation. Carbonation has three possible answers: still, petulant, sparkling. This is all about how much bubbling is happening in the glass. Still being nothing. Now here, this is definitely not still. There is a lovely mousse, these fine bubbles at the top of the cider perry, so definitely not still. Underneath it, I don't know if you can see in the video, but there is a lovely perlage. Perlage being the bubbles that are going from the bottom of the glass to the top. If the perlage is slight, that would be petulant. In my case though, this is quite active, and I can even hear it, and this glass has been sitting on the desk for a little bit of time, so this is definitely sparkling. Again, very active bubbles rising from the bottom to the top, so I'm going to mark sparkling. And then move on to aroma. Now aroma has 2 sections: the aroma intensity and aroma characteristics. Aroma intensity has 5 possible answers: light, medium minus, medium, medium plus, and pronounced. And there's a great technique here to help us decide what the best answer is. It involves basically dividing a space in front of your body, starting from the nose down to about the chest. That's usually about a safe area. And from here, we're going to divide into 5 sections: 1, 2 at the lips, 3 at the chin, 4 at the sort of bottom of my neck, and then 5 at my chest level. All right. The idea here is creating a space from your nose down here, and that range will help us determine whether it's pronounced or light. I'm going to take our glass, and we're going to start at the lowest level here. So this would be pronounced. If I could get characteristics, if I could detect very specific smells, that would be pronounced. But I cannot do that here. I can smell something, but I don't quite know what it is yet. Well, I know it's a perry, but I don't know what's in the perry. So I'm going to move it up now a notch to the medium plus here. Still nothing really, no change there. So I'll move it up yet again to here. Now this is medium, and oh yeah, I'm starting to get, I just got a colour, I got green, some yellow, a bit of nectarine. So I'm starting to detect things. But I'm going to move it up just another level here. Yeah, now I'm getting really lush aromatics. So I'm in the medium minus medium plus. Now if there still is nothing here, then I would go into the nose and then light, and that would be your answer. But I'm going to put it back down to medium. Yeah, I can. You know what? I'm going to go with medium minus because it's really, I'm getting everything here. I get a little bit, but I feel safer putting it at a medium minus. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, and now the really fun part, which involves trying to identifying the aroma characteristics, the smells in this cider and or perry. And the way that I do that is just cover it up, give it a swirl, get those aromatics, the CO2 breaking things up, so I can get more out of it, and then put my wee nose in there. I've got glasses on, so I'm going to move those, and then just get a real good whiff. And yeah, I've got pear, definitely pear skins, I've got white flower, elderflower, I've got green, actually the nectarine is coming really strong now, some sweet pea, a little bit of even bread, wood. I'll take it off, give it another. In between my sniffs, if that's the correct term, I do what's called a reset, and that involves just smelling something different to sort of reset my olfactory senses. I do that by putting my nose into my elbow, or into the crook of my elbow here, and then just getting a reset. And then I go back in here. Yeah, sage, bit of wood, slate even. Oh, I should be writing these down, so let me do that. Alright, so I'm going to write all this down. Pear, white flower. You want to write down as many smells that you can identify. The object here is there has been a key created by the proctors, and they've got this. There's a list. You're trying to match as many of your answers to their answers. So if you only write one down, you are not going to do well. Highly advise somewhere in the realm of 3, at least 3, if possible 5. I've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So do yourself a favour, yeah, try to write as many down. Use the worksheet here to help you jog your memory of smells and things that you can write down. Okay? After aroma comes palate. So this is the tasting part. Palate is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different sections. So this is obviously very, very important. You want to make sure you get this right. It starts with sweetness. Now sweetness, you've got 4 possible choices here: dry, semi-dry, semi-sweet, sweet. Well, I'll start with sweet because that's probably the easiest. Sweet is tasting the cider, you're getting pretty much nothing but sweet from the start to the finish. With semi-sweet, you've got sweet, a little bit of dryness, but the drink will finish sweet. With semi-dry, it's the same thing. There's a little bit of sweetness present, but it finishes dry. And then with dry, there is no sweetness at all. You've just got dry. Now, the important thing here is to not confuse sweetness with fruitiness, and we're only talking about residual sugars here, so pay attention to that if you can. Now let's have a go. So what I'm going to do is there is a little bit of sweetness, but yeah, that finishes pretty clean dry. I'm very confident semi-dry here. All right, next is acidity. Here we've got three answers: low, medium, high. There is another technique we can use to help us get to that answer. If you think about acids, basically corrosive, so your body has a way to protect itself when it encounters acids, and that is by creating or generating saliva. So the technique here is to basically count the amount or the length of salivation that your body generates when you put the drink into your mouth. And the way we do that is by a count. Put the cider perry into your mouth, and then count how long you feel your salivary glands generating saliva. 1 to 2 seconds, we would call that low. 3 to 4 seconds, that would be medium minus. 5 to 6 seconds, that would be medium. 7 to 8, medium plus. And 9 to 10, that would be high. Now, different people might have different counts, but that's the sort of general range. I'm going to give it a go. Cider perry into the mouth. All right. Now, I counted 3, so I'm going to give that a medium minus. Tannin, acid, there we go, medium minus. After acidity comes tannin. Now, tannin also has a low, medium, high answer range. Tannins are biomolecular polyphenols found in plants and fruits. They are there basically to protect the plant or fruit from being eaten by insects or animals. They create a bitterness and astringency to the taste that can range from slight to quite heavy. In the heavy, you can really feel it grippy. One of the comparisons that is often used is the tea bag comparison. So if you oversteep a bag of tea, black tea, and you drink it, you should be able to get the sensation of astringency, this sort of grippiness along the gums, behind the teeth, on the sides of your tongue even. There's also an amount of bitterness. So here we're just trying to decide what amount, again, low, medium or high. You're trying to come to a decision on how much of that bitterness and astringency that you feel. So into the mouth it goes. It's a little bit. I get on the sides of the tongue, but it's quite low. So low. And I just mark that. All right, after tannin comes intensity. This is how much oomph the cider is giving you when you drink it. A good technique here is to think of intensity as a shape on a sort of sliding scale. On one end you've got a circle, rounded, smooth, integrating balanced flavors working together, and then on the other end you've got this sort of star, jagged things poking out, multiple flavors sort of attacking your palate. Now I'm going to start by drinking this perry. Now all that I'm getting quite a lot of different flavors. They're all working really well together. And I'm getting this very round, very smooth. So my intensity, I'm going to go low. All right, now the really fun part, and that is the flavor characteristics. So here we are going to sample our cider and or perry, and using again our aroma and flavor profile as a sort of springboard for ideas, is I try to identify as many of the tastes that we can. Here as well, like the aroma characteristics, you really want to put down as many as you can identify, because again, the aim here is to match as many of your answers with the key that the proctors have created. So I'm going to do that. Wow, a lot of, I'm getting fresh pear skin right off the bat. Thyme, sort of herbal thyme. Getting a bit of yellow flower. So it's really lovely. Getting yellow flower lime sherbet. Honeycomb even. Make sure I'm writing this all down. Get one more. Slate, and just a little bit, a really sort of light leather in a good way. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's I feel good with that number. 5 is, I think you want to be in the range of 5. Okay. Next is complexity. How complex is our cider or perry? Complexity is not the quality, whether or not the cider is good or bad. It is taking the flavor characteristics that we've just identified, and I think I said I had 8. We're going to put those characteristics into their buckets. So for example, I said fresh pear. Fresh pear is the palm fruit. That's one bucket. Pear skin, that's the same bucket. I said thyme, so herbal is another bucket there. Honeycomb is a secondary flavor here. That's 3. Let me go through it. Fresh pear. All right, palm fruit. I've got nectarine, lime, so citrus, stone. Thyme is herbal. I've got yellow flower, floral, a bit of slate. Okay, let me highlight these, make it easier for you. All right, so I have identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've collected 7 buckets. All right. 1 to 2 would be a low complexity. 3 to 4 would be a medium minus complexity. 4 to 5 would be medium. 6 to 7 medium plus, and then 8 would be high. Now, all right, so I've collected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buckets. 7 would put us at a medium plus, so I will write medium plus. After complexity comes the body. Now for a body, there is an equation that we can use to help us get to the correct answer. Like complexity, low, medium minus, medium, medium plus, and high are your possible answers. The equation is alcohol plus sweetness plus tannin minus acidity and carbonation. So the alcohol, I don't know the alcohol, the ABV specifically. I get a sense of it. It's not overpowering, so I'm going to say medium. The sweetness, we've already decided it was a semi-dry, so that's in the medium range. The tannin level here, low, so taking medium, maybe making it a medium minus. Now we're going to subtract from that acidity and carbonation. The acidity was a medium minus, so medium minus, medium minus. and then the carbonation was high. So again, I'm going to bring that right back down to medium minus, maybe low. I'm going to stick with medium minus. Finally, finish. Finish has three possible answers: short, medium, long. And what do we mean by finish? Well, we're talking about the flavour characteristics that we identified. How long do they last on our palate? This is not about the acidity or the tannin. We don't want to get the structure involved here. We simply want to ask ourselves, how long do those pleasing flavours last? And the way that we do that is the same way that we did acidity, by a count. So I will sample the drink. Wow. I've 1 second, 2 seconds, and then boom, the acidity kicks in, the tannins start, the low tannins start already take over. So 1 to 2 seconds is low. I will mark mine low, or in this case short. And voila, we are basically finished. We've gone through the appearance, the aroma, the palate, and now all that's left is the final assessment. The final assessment is a summary of all of the answers on our structured sensory analysis worksheet. The idea here is to create 2 to 3 sentences that incorporate all of these answers, as well as the words balance, integration, and character. This is not a place to tell the reader what you think about the cider, what it should be paired with, whether it was good or bad. We only want the answers that we've marked here. Now I'm going to give you mine in just a second here. What the ACA recommends, and I think is a great idea, is to sort of create a template, a base answer that you can basically use for any cider that you evaluate, and all you've got to do is to switch in the answers that you've got here. Does that make sense? So I'm going to read my final assessment of this perry to you now. This clear, semi-dry, pale straw-coloured sparkling perry is well balanced by its medium minus acidity, low tannin and low intensity. Aromas of pear, white flower and sweet pea and flavours including pom, citrus and stone fruit are integrated into a sparkling perry with a character of medium plus complexity and medium minus body and short finish. Alright, so the idea here again, stay away from expounding your personal opinions about the cider, whether it's good or not, what it should be paired with, anything like that. Just your answers, including the wording, including the words balance, integration and character. Well then, as we say in Japan, otsukare-sama desu, job well done. That is a lot to get through: appearance, aroma, palate, final assessment. In testing conditions, when you're doing the certified Pommelier exam, it is timed, so you're going to want to practice this enough where you are comfortable at getting through all of these sections at a steady pace. I wish you the best of luck in your practice, in your research, in your studies, in your exam. Do take advantage of all the materials that the ACA has to offer. We are here to help. Reach out if you need. Again, best of luck to you.
Lastly, practice makes better. I highly recommend using the resources available to you on our website and in our Facebook community. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to our channel for all things cider education.